Hey guys, so I am here with a video on how to tell the time. It is a little tricky, so just pause it if you get confused and just rewind it and just become familiar with it. Alright, so I find that the best way to learn is to have an actual clock in front of you. So a clock like this, if you don't have access to one, I will leave a link next to this video with an interactive clock that you guys can play with and just become familiar with for telling the time. Alright, so we have 3 hands on this clock. This long green hand here, this is our minutes hand. This short orange one here, this will show us the hours. So this is our hours hand. And this blue one here is our seconds hand. Now not all clocks have 3 hands, so they only will have usually the minutes and the hours. But when it shows the seconds, I just think it's a little more helpful. Alright, so if we just get this clock moving. Alright, so each time this blue line here moves, 1 second has passed. So for example, that's 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Alright, so around this whole clock, see those little lines here? That shows 1 second, that shows 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. So around this whole clock, there are 60 lines. So that means once it reaches, see how it's reached the top? So once it goes around the clock once, 1 minute has passed. So there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Alright. So let's just bring the hand up here. Okay, so let's just pretend I have to be at the dentist at 3 o'clock. Alright, so we know that this shows 3 o'clock because the hour hand shows us the 3, so it's pointing to the 3. So the short hand, which shows the hours, tells us that it's 3 o'clock. Now also, this green hand here is on the 12. So because it's on the 12, we know that no minutes has passed. So once I move one across, that shows that 1 minute has passed. So this is no longer 3 o'clock, it's actually 1 minute past 3. Alright, so what happens if we keep going around? So that's now 2 minutes past 3, 3 minutes past 3, 4, and that's 5 minutes. Alright, so what we can do is here as well. We see how between each of these numbers there are 5 strokes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 minutes past 3. But if we bring it down here, it's a little bit hard to count all the lines straight away. But because we know that there are 5 strokes between each number, we can just count by 5s. So that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's 20 minutes. So this is 20 minutes past 3. See how it's not exactly on the 3, it's past it? Alright, now, if I keep going here, so we've made 25 minutes. Now this is half past 3 because we're like halfway around the clock. Alright? So now that's 35 minutes have passed. 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. So notice how once the clock went around 60 minutes, the orange hand is no longer on the 3, it's on the 4. So that means there are 60 minutes in a whole hour. Alright, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the hands around the clock, and I will tell you what the time is, and I'll also explain why. Alright, so for example, now the big hand is pointing to the 12, so that means that no minutes have gone by. However, if I move one across, that's 1 minute has passed. So we'll just bring it back here. And so the little hand here is pointing to the 1. So we know that it's 1 o'clock. However, if I bring it down to the 2, all right. So we know that it isn't 1 o'clock exactly because it's no longer pointing to the 12. So how many minutes have gone past? So 5 minutes, and that's 10 minutes. So it is 10 minutes past 1. All right, now if I bring it down here, all right, so it isn't, okay, the hour hand isn't exactly on the 1 anymore. It's halfway between the 1 and the 2. All right, so how many minutes have gone past? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5 minutes. That's another 5 minutes, so it's 10 minutes. It's 15, that's 20, it's 25, and that's 30. So that's 30 minutes past the 1. Or this is also called half past because it's halfway past, so it's like halfway around the clock. Alright, so let's try another one. If I maybe bring it around to here. Alright, so this time here is 4 o'clock. We know this because the orange hand, the hours hand, is directly on the 4 and no minutes have gone past. It's on 12, so technically, if you think about it, it's kind of like 0. However, if I move it past here, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes past the 4. All right, and that's all from me today. Hopefully I helped explain some things. If it's still a little bit confusing, the best way to learn how to tell the time is just practicing with the clock. Maybe you can grab friends and you guys can test each other just, with minutes and hours. But yeah, hopefully you learned something new today.